So welcome back guys to another video, and today I'm actually doing a video response to my friend Alex on his channel Backlog Battle on his community question of the week. He was asking, what are some games that you replay? Now I thought this was an interesting topic because I admit there's some games that I've played in the past that I've absolutely loved, but I've beaten it once and just never picked it back up again. And then there's those games that I just always see myself going back to, rather, it's nostalgia, or just the game's really good, or maybe it's just that game that makes me in a better mood, and maybe it's not like a long game that I can just play and get a quick gaming fix. Now the first game I want to talk about is by far not only one of the best games in that series, and I feel like it was very important, but it's also one of the best PlayStation games ever. And that is going to be Castlevania Symphony of the Night. Now Castlevania Symphony of the Night was a very special game for its time because when it was released, the gaming market was really focusing on 3D polygon games, these 3D games, and I remember some people even thought that 2D sprites were just dated. And it was kind of interesting because Castlevania, as much as I love the series, was going through kind of a stale moment. A lot of people were just kind of getting turned off by Castlevania at the time, but Symphony of the Night, when it came out, it was a breath of fresh air and really, no pun intended, revamped the series and also helped create this subgenre that, love the term or not, it became such a prevalent thing in gaming, and that is the Metroidvania. I absolutely love this game. This game, I could just play it for 5 minutes, I can play it for 5 hours, but either way I just love exploring the castle and playing as Alucard. And the next game I want to talk about is actually a bullet hell, and I have to say, a lot of bullet hell shooters, I really like those games, and as I've gotten older, it's become one of my favorite genres because it's the kind of game that you can pick up and play for a couple minutes, or maybe you can spend all day playing it, but one that just really captivates my attention is Ikaruga. Ikaruga is a very special bullet hell because there's so much strategy to it. You're not just shooting things that are on screen, which I love that in a bullet hell, but there's actually some ways of progressing through the stages. Something as small as changing your ship to a different color like black or white to defeat certain enemies and do certain combos adds just a little bit of something that really makes it stand out from the rest of those games a part of that genre. And the next game I want to talk about is by far one of my favorite ones in the series and by far the best one on the PlayStation platform, and that is the highly underrated Final Fantasy IX. And don't get me wrong, I love Final Fantasy VII. I think Final Fantasy VII is a lot of fun, but Final Fantasy IX had that little bit of special something that made me keep going back to it. Maybe it's the compelling soundtrack, maybe it's the story, maybe it's the fact that I like that Zidane was completely different than Squall and Cloud. Squall and Cloud were very mysterious, very moody, kind of emotional, where Zidane was just a fun-loving, womanizing pirate who was just out to have a good time, and that kind of contrast, entering a much more darker story, really did well, and I really enjoyed that. I mean, Final Fantasy IX has so many memorable, lovable characters, from the return of the Black Mages with Vivi, a very adorable but tragic character, to Dagger or Princess Garnet trying to find her place inside the monarchy of Alexandria, and even the earnest, overprotecting bodyguard, the Knight Steiner. There's just so much I love about Final Fantasy IX, and it's one of those games I definitely always have to go back to. I always mention this game all the time. I think I mention this game at least 4 or 5 times a year on my channel, and I'll be honest, to me an arcade is not an arcade unless you have one of these cabinets, and that of course is Street Fighter 2. I am such a sucker for Street Fighter 2. It's one of my favorite fighting games of all time, one of my favorite Capcom games, one of my favorite series of all time, and I'm one of those people who has been suckered into buying so many different copies of Street Fighter 2, and honestly, I don't regret it. I don't deny it. I was one of those people who bought Street Fighter 2 on the Switch just because I love to go online and play on a new console and fight people and play Street Fighter 2. It's definitely one of those games that I play every once in a while, and when I really want to have a fighting game fix, it's one that I always go back to. And the last game I want to talk about, and this game I have a tradition with. I play this game every Christmas from start to finish, and it's just not Christmas without it. Some people have to have Christmas trees, some people have to drink a glass of eggnog, some people have to sing certain songs or listen to certain tunes. I have to play Super Mario World on the Super Nintendo. You know, I got this one year for Christmas from my grandfather, absolutely fell in love with it, and it's one of those games that has just a timeless charm to it that no matter how old I am, no matter what I'm doing, no matter what's going on in my life, I play this game and I feel like I'm a little kid back in 1992 playing on a little 12-inch CRT in my bedroom with like all my Ninja Turtle action figures and stuff. I can remember it like it was yesterday, playing the game and having so much fun. And I remember I was like with someone at the time, and her and I went to go visit her parents during Christmas, and I actually brought my Game Boy Advance SP that had Super Mario World on it. And I remember when everyone was, you know, taking their Christmas nap from all the dinners and stuff, I sat there on the couch and was drinking a beer and playing Super Mario World. And it's just something I have to do. And it's just one of my favorite games that I always love to replay. But anyway, guys, that is my video response to Alex from Backlog Battle on games that I like to go back to, games that I like to replay. And I want to say first and foremost, be sure to check out his channel and his podcast. It's probably one of my favorite podcasts that I listen to. I listen to it regularly, and I really enjoy his content and the way he presents himself and the way he's so well spoken. And it's all about the community, which I think in these dire times of YouTube is something that we really need to take more a part of and do more. So check out his video. I'll have a link on the description below to the original video that he put up. Be sure to leave your comments on his channel, and if you make a video response, send it to him. As much as I would love you guys to make a video response to me, I would really like it if you guys send a video response to him, and we can kind of get this whole thing going, because he does this every week. He does a community question of the week, and I think that's really important and really awesome for YouTube. And anyway, guys, speaking of support, if you guys enjoyed this video, be sure to hit the bell. It's going to notify you when there's all future uploads and notifications on this channel. And there's a new upload's going to be coming out every Sunday and every Wednesday. Again, that's every Sunday and every Wednesday. Anyway, guys, as always, thanks for watching, thanks for subscribing, and as always, happy gaming.